How's it going, everyone? Welcome back into the channel. So with the start of the offseason comes the start of salary cap breakdowns. We do this every single year on this channel where we break down the current salary cap situation for the Green Bay Packers and the type of moves that they can make to either clear more money or potentially push more money out to the future. Now, this year is not as bad as the past few years. The past few years on this channel, we've made videos fixing the Green Bay Packers salary cap because there was a lot of fixing that had to be done. But since then, the Rodgers deal is pretty much gone. David Bakhtiari's deal pretty much gone. Now, they did re-sign Jordan Love, and that is taking up a big chunk of their salary cap. But the Packers, as it stands right now, actually have a decent amount of salary cap space. So we might finally stop kicking the can down the road where we restructure a ton of contracts, pushing more money into the future and making it very, very hard to move on from certain players as the years go by. It's a nice place to be at. You can look at the New Orleans Saints salary cap situation and you can see what a bad place to be at is. And the Packers finally kind of turned that page and aren't putting themselves in that situation too much anymore. So in this video, I'm going to break down the Packers salary cap, what their space looks like right now, and some of the moves we should see and expect this offseason. All right, so now back into the video. Let's dive down into the Packers salary cap. I'll bring up the screen, and first we'll take a look at where they stand around the NFL in terms of cap space. Now, this is in terms of the top 51 salary cap, meaning only the top 51 contracts go towards the salary cap. Every contract after the top 51 doesn't actually count towards the league mandated salary cap. So this is that number there. And then over here, cap space with all is considering all contracts. So it's likely going to be lower amount for most teams. So New England at the top with 125 million is absolutely insane. I'm actually pretty excited to see what they do with Mike Vrabel, Drake May, the talent they can surround him with. I think the Patriots could be one of those sleeper teams that turn from, pretty horrible from this last season to pretty good in the next season. We'll see how that goes, though. Las Vegas, 95 million. Washington with 90 million is crazy, just showcasing that, having a really good quarterback on a rookie deal is very lucrative. And they'll have $90 million in cap space. They're only going to get better, which is insane. They do have some free agents, but that's crazy. Arizona, 72. Chicago, 69 million. We'll see what they do. Don't have high hopes for them. Los Angeles Chargers, 64 million. And they're a really good up-and-coming team. Even Minnesota and Detroit have more cap space than the Packers. This is crazy, guys. Like, seeing this is scary to see all these good teams in the NFC that have so much cap space. Even San Fran, 51 million, right? Los Angeles Rams, they were just, went farther than the Packers in the playoffs with 49 million. The Giants, who knows what they're going to do, 47 million. But here we are. The Green Bay Packers have 43.981 million in terms of top 51 cap space. Now, keep in mind, you have to allocate a lot of that for some offseason moves, the draft. It's estimated right now the Packers, with all their current picks, it'll cost just under $10 million in cap space to sign all of their upcoming rookies in that draft class. So effective cap kind of sitting at $33.9 million, more than enough money for the Packers to go and sign some free agents. And if we go down to the bottom, I mentioned the Saints, man. They're at negative 50. I mean, it gets worse and worse every year. And I think I made a video fixing their cap once a couple years on my channel, and it was very difficult. I can't imagine trying to do that now. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, and I'll give it my best shot. But New Orleans at negative 50 million is absolutely insane. Cleveland, negative 26. Seattle, negative 23. I mean, a lot of these teams, man, it's hard to get out of that hole once you start restructuring a ton of contracts. We were kind of seeing that with the Packers with Rodgers and Bakhtiari. We kind of had to do that, but now we're finally over that, and we finally have some cap space this year that we can go out and maybe sign some free agents. Now, we do have a little bit of dead cap. This is from, I think, still the Rodgers, Bakhtiari, maybe Devondre Camp, some other deals. I forget which ones, but $18.3 million there in dead cap. So taking a look at the Packers contracts, they have a lot of money because they don't have many players, above $10 million cap hits for 2025. They have 4 players above 20, which is a decent amount. And outside of Jordan Love, which a lot of people would even say, hey, Jordan Love, that's a lot of money, but you got to pay your quarterback, right? You have to. $29 million cap hit is not bad for 2025 at all compared to other quarterbacks. Now, the next 3, you might be going, this doesn't look too great, right? All 3 of these players either, couldn't get on the field, if we're talking of Jair Alexander, or underperformed. I mean, Rashawn Gary did better as the year went on, but is he worth a $25 million cap hit? I guess that's your opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. But Kenny Clark at 20 million. I mean, the dude had 1 sack this past season. Severely underperforming. Now, we can lower these cap hits, just like I mentioned. That's with restructuring, right? So you restructure, and we've heard of void years the past few years. It's been a big thing in the NFL. So you convert, base salary to bonus, push it out to future years. You can add void years onto said future years. And the more void years you add, and the more you convert into the future, the lower the current cap hit would be. So for Rashawn Gary here, if you were to convert the minimum base salary and then move it to bonus and add 2 void years, you could lower his cap hit by $5 million. Now, that doesn't remove the money. It's not a pay cut. It simply just pushes some of that money into the future when the salary cap inevitably rises, and it's a percentage game. It's like, what percentage of the cap is it going to be this year compared to that year, and a lot of time it evens out. You can do a max restructure, which is pushing all of that roster bonus out to future 2 void years, and his cap hit this year could be $13 million. And you see, just doing that, you lower Rashawn Gary's cap hit to $13 million, and you raise your cap space up to $56 million. So there's options you can do. I don't think the Packers will do that. I think they might restructure a couple of these. I'm thinking maybe Jair, they'll ask for a pay cut. Now, obviously, we talked about Jair on this channel last week. And what it would look like if the Packers traded him pre-June 1st, post-June 1st. It just depends what they would do here. But they could restructure him or ask for a pay cut. That's definitely an option, because $25 million cap hit for someone who basically plays less than 50% of games is not okay. I think Kenny Clark I think it's definitely going to be a restructure. Now, what that restructure goes to, we'll see. Maybe they drop it down to a void year and drop his cap hit from 20 million to 13 million, which gives them, a little bit more space. See, the Packers don't have to do this, though. They have cap space. They have enough to go after free agents. So they really don't have to do this. But if they want to, just to lower these cap hits, to say, then go get someone like T. Higgins, or go get a defensive player again in free agency like they did last year, and Xavier McKinney, and they want a little bit more money this year to go all in, this is how you would do it. But again, they don't really have to. I'm just basically showing you what they can do. Let me know if you want a video of me predicting what exactly I think the Packers will do with their salary cap this offseason, and I'll do that. Lucas Van Ness on a rookie contract being our 9th highest contract is why the Packers have money right now. You have a lot, and I mean a lot of rookie contracts, and that's because the Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. So when you're the youngest team in the NFL, you inherently have more rookie contracts, as you can see here. I mean, all these players with these low cap hits are all on rookie contracts. So the Packers should probably go out and use some of that money to boost their team, fill weaknesses around this roster. And I think they will. Brian Gutekunst mentioned in his press conference, I think it was last week, that it's about time we start competing for championships. It's a little bit of a weird comment, because it's like, well, were we not competing for championships before now? But I took it as, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to sign what we need. It's not going to be all Ted Thompson draft and develop every single year. We're going to go out and sign what we need, which Gutekunst has already been better at, right? Bringing in Jacobs, bringing in McKinney. Those are things that likely would not happen too often or at all with Ted Thompson. So the Packers have room. There's not many options for the Packers to say cut players. Like in years past, it's like, okay, you see Devondre Campbell. That's, that could definitely be a cut. Or if we had Preston Smith still, it'd be like, all right, the Packers could definitely cut him. They really don't have many options because it's such a big drop off, right? Like after Keyshawn Nixon, it's all rookie deals, which obviously you wouldn't cut anyone on a rookie deal. It just makes absolutely no sense. So all these players, mainly rookie deals until you get down into like the very, very low contracts, which at that point, you're not saving much money. So really, you're just looking at these top guys, and you're not obviously doing anything with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. You're probably not doing anything with Elton Jenkins. I mean, a $17.6 million cap hit, maybe they restructure. I don't know. Kenny Clark, you can't cut him. You literally lose more in dead cap if you cut him right now because you just re-signed him. Jair is an option with a post-June 1st cut or trade. That's definitely an option. You're not cutting Rashawn, and obviously Jordan Love's deal was just signed. So there's not many options really for like, those are some veterans that we're going to cut. Now, I briefly went over this in the free agent video, but I quickly want to show you some money that's going to be pretty much tied up. So we already talked about the draft class having like about $10 million tied up. Also, what's going to be tied up, which is almost a guarantee, is exclusive rights free agents. And every single one of the exclusive rights free agents here in yellow, the Packers are going to bring back because it's so cheap. Zane Anderson, Bo Melton, Aaron Mosby, Daniel Whelan, Emmanuel Wilson, and Kadeem Telfort. And they're cheap. cheap because they're exclusive rights free agents. They can only sign, or they can only get offers from the Green Bay Packers, and they're very, very small offers or minimum deals. So that's $1 million there. Bo Melton, $960,000. Aaron Mosby, $1 million. Daniel Whelan, $1 million. Emmanuel Wilson, $1 million. Kadeem Telford, $960,000. So those are all the exclusive rights free agents. So if you finish that, the Packers actually remain right around the same spot in cap space because, again, we're going off of the top 51 cap space. Now, I think we lost $1 million overall, but we signed all those exclusive rights free agents to those deals. So that's how the salary cap kind of works, right? You're only going off of the top 51 contracts that count towards the salary cap. So you can kind of play with it there. And when you're signing exclusive rights free agents, generally speaking, you know, you see their contract numbers, 37, 38, 39, 40, 47, 48, but then it pushes some of these players down that get 840,000. So it removes that off the salary cap and only adds the difference there, if that makes sense. So you're not really losing much by signing these guys, but then again, you'll lose, you know, another $10 million for the rookie class, but then, you know, how many players you have in that rookie class will then push some of these contracts past the top 51. You get the gist. So hope that kind of summarizes it up a decent bit for the Packers salary cap here in the 2025 offseason. Overall, they have money. They can go out and sign free agents if they want to. They can go out and sign top free agents if they want to. The Packers have money and they can always create more money. And this year compared to like the last 3 to 4 years, there's not a lot they have to do to kind of wiggle their way back into positive in terms of salary cap because they're already there. I appreciate you guys coming by. I hope you liked the video. Please leave a like down below if you did. It supports the channel a ton. Go down, click the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers this offseason as well. Reminder to check out BetUS. Use code YouTube150 at sign up. Again, thank you guys so much for coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.